Okay, so we're live. Today we're going to talk to Nicka from Nickaology. So I'm just going to wait for her to join the live and then I'll add her at the um, at the bottom. But let me know how you are. Let me know when you arrive here. Just say hi in the comments, say hello. I'm really looking forward to today's conversation. This will be my very first joint live, and I'm just so glad that it's with somebody that I just think is awesome. So I'm going to send this video out to a few people, and feel free to do the same if you can, and then we will get started and it will be absolutely wonderful. Hi Karen, hi man, hi Z Freebies 100. You're not a bot, are you? Hi Charmaine, hello everybody, thank you so much for joining. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for today. I've never done a joint live, and here she is.
So this will be just amazing, just absolutely amazing. I'm so excited. Here she is.
Hey!
Hi!
How you doing?
This is the first time we've ever done this, which is actually really bizarre considering the length of time that we have been connected.
Yeah.
Which is just fabulous.
I'm so excited. Like,
I've
been thinking about it for the last, like, obviously we've been talking about it, but I'm just like, okay, we're gonna talk about this and we're gonna do that and da da da. And I'm just like, now I'm here. I'm just like, oh my god, I just want to revel in the moment because, like you said, we've been here, we've been connected for a very long time, and this is the first time we've done, you know, something together. And I think it's been a long time coming, to be honest. We have been down such a long road, our own individual roads, and together. And I learned so much from you, and you are absolutely so inspiring to me. Like,
thank you.
like, so, like a lot of the things that you shared I relate to, and I've been through the same and similar things as well. And you know, talking about our past and, you know, just the journey, like, and trying to inspire others and to empower others, you know, it's just, yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. Like, we should have done this a long time ago.
It's been a long time coming, and I feel like what we are is proof that when you have your vision or you're led by your purpose, even if you don't even know what your vision is yet, but you know definitely what you're about and what you want to talk about and what want to be involved with, you actually draw together like the same kind of people. And before we jump into that journey, because even that is a fantastic conversation, everybody who follows my page already knows who I am. So do you want to tell everybody who you are?
Okay, now you put me on the spot. It's like, you know, when your brain goes like, hold on, who am I? Like, what do I do? Like, am I a human? Like, where do I start?
You're a whole queen is what you are. We'll start there.
Thank you so much. Like, thank you. Yeah, so I am I'm Nicka, obviously, and I have a passion for a lot of things. Like, being a Libra is like, I want to bring justice to the world, and I want to like help everyone and help everything. But I'm very passionate about women's empowerment. I'm very passionate about us women having safe spaces, and I talk a lot, well, not so much on my page, but I do talk about domestic violence a lot, because that's what I do outside of social media. I work with women by sharing my own story, and also learning about the things that need to be changed. Like, one of the things that I recently learned, talking to my project leader, is that let me go back a bit. So I work with Women's Aid, and the project that I was working on with Women's Aid was about influencing the changes in the law about surrounding domestic violence, and that's currently in Parliament. So we're like, we're not finished, but it's, yeah. Thank you. But what our work in the sense of trying to influence it. It's finished in that sense. So we're waiting to hear what Westminster's got to say, and then obviously we're going to keep fighting and keep, because you know they're not going to listen to everything, and you know we're very realistic about that. So yeah, so that's what I do. And my I was guest speaking about 2 weeks ago around my journey in refuge and after domestic violence, and in the refuge, being in refuge, and speaking with my project leader from Women's Aid, because I invited her to come along as moral support. And you know, we had a conversation about, you know, refuge. There needs to be reform in refuge, and there's issues there. So it's just like, it's like exactly what you said, like it once you have a passion and once you know what kind of where you want to head, everything kind of aligns and attracts. So that is something that I haven't started working on it yet, but that's something that I want to get into, and I'm very excited about that. So yeah, that's like a kind of outside of social media. On social media, I talk a lot about racism and how it affects me as a Black woman, and speaking not for us, because we are not a monolith, we're all different, but you know, using my experiences with mental health, domestic violence, and just using the experiences that I've been through to, you know, give perspective, just to understand how, you know, things work, and you know, what's really happening in the world, and not trying to sugarcoat stuff, because I feel like when we sugarcoat stuff, that's when people think, oh, it's just.
Let me just say, this is the one thing I love about you, because you don't sugarcoat shit. Like, nothing's getting sugarcoated. It's not around the bush. It's straight to the point. And for someone, you know, for myself, because I quite like stuff like that, I feel like your page is the page that you go to feel challenged, but to also feel safe, to feel like there's a conversation there. It's not a case of we arrive at your content and we know absolutely everything and there's nothing I can possibly learn. You come to your page with an open mind, because you have an open mind, and I feel like you're quite open with your experiences, with your thoughts and your ideas and how you're feeling. And I feel like in an online space, that just feels so special, because there are so many other people, and no disrespect to them, who aren't at a point where they feel they can be themselves, and you're being yourself, and that's magical.
Yeah, and I think that's so important. That's one of the things that I really advocate for, is authenticity, because I'm like you. I feel comfortable when I see somebody talking about, you know what, I'm fucking pissed off today. Like, I don't even know we're allowed to swear. Sorry, I didn't even say this. I know we was having this conversation before, but obviously it's like it's your page, and I don't want to overstep or be rude. But like, because like, what are you talking about? I swear all the time. But like, you know, I'm happy. I really feel comfortable when people are like, you know, I had a fucking bad day today. It was shit. People were getting on my nerves, da 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 da, and like, I find comfort in that, because that to me is normal, because we have those days. We're not always happy and positive, and what I like to do with my page, or what I'm trying to do, is show that yes, you are pissed today, but you know, further down the line, or you know, further, if it means today, later on tonight, or whether it be tomorrow, you're over it, or you're, you know, it's about feeling our emotions. And that's another thing that I really advocate for, is to feel our emotions, even jealousy, shame, guilt, all of them, feel them. Like,
shadow stuff, it's all valid, and I feel like this is the for me anyway, I feel like over the weekend I had a horrible weekend. I cried, but I was like explaining to my children, like, it's really good that mommy cries now, because mommy never used to cry, but mommy feels sad now, and that's wonderful. And it's that thing of when you grow up in an abusive environment, or you've been in an abusive relationship, and you haven't allowed yourself to feel the depths of your emotion, because you're just coping and you're just surviving, and that serves a purpose. But there comes a point in your life where you feel like, actually, I need to unpick some of that. And
yes.
It's actually very healthy to feel sad, to feel angry, to feel jealous, to feel all those things. It's about that combination, that yin and that yang, that shadow and that light. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, don't you? I'm just reading the comments as we're speaking, and basically we've got a little room full of potty mouths here. So welcome, you're in the right space.
Yay! The potty mouth crew.
Absolutely. And actually, before we move on to the next point, is I always say actually swearing is actually absolutely fine. It's very arty. I feel like there's a
Yeah,
big difference between swearing in conversation and calling somebody a fucking bitch. I think it's
yeah,
two very different things.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
So, and what Nicka didn't say is that she's a writer.
I always, Annika, I do this all the time. Every time I talk about myself, writings at the end of everything else is always the last point. And you would think that would be the first point because I write all the time. So yeah.
But actually, I suppose you leave it last because everything else that you're involved with drives your writing, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was reading a comment. Sorry. Yeah.
Everybody's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, you're right. Like I do think it does. Like it's like a what's the word? Like a cherry on the top. Like it's just like amplifies. Like yeah.
Now, Nicka and I met on the internet, obviously, but we don't know. We can't pinpoint exactly when or what or where. A few years ago, I used to do an online networking hour every Sunday. It was at 12, wasn't it? Was that 12 or 11?
I think
And
so.
it used to be on Twitter. And there was a group of us that would be on, we'd rush to make, put the kettle on or be in our dressing gowns or whatever, but there would be conversation
Yeah.
on Twitter for an hour every Sunday, and it was called Help a Queen Out, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I loved
But I
it.
think I met you before that. I don't know. I haven't met
Yeah.
you, but I feel like we were connected before that, but I can't pinpoint where it was.
Yeah, I agree. Like we definitely met before Help a Queen Out. Like but I loved Help a Queen Out. It was everything I needed, and it was so needed at the time. And I feel like this is a major confession. Like and I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny, but sorry. It's like what's that word? Nervous laughter. But yeah, so when Help a Queen Out was going on, it was the one thing that kept me going. I was living at the time. I was living at home, and for those who don't know, I was I my mum's a narcissist, so I had childhood trauma, and it turned into an adult. So then obviously it became domestic violence. And so when we was doing Help a Queen Out, it was my way of focusing and way of ignoring what was happening with my mum and stuff like that. So I when I tell you how Help a Queen Out saved me, and it was so beautiful, and it was so nice. It was like the friendships that I made, like online friendships, like Karen, and some of the other ladies, yourself. Obviously, as I said, we knew each other from before, but it was so nice to have that time, that hour, or was it an hour or two? I can't remember, but
I think it was an hour, but sometimes we went over because the
we went
conversation
over.
was like, yeah.
Yeah, and like just having that hour to to talk and to have it was also a way of like having a deadline, so we just knew what we're going to do for next week. Am I going to implement healthy, I'm going to do something healthy for myself, or am I going to write something, or am I going to create something, or am I going to go to the GP? And it was just like a way of holding us account, and helping us like stay on with each other. So I absolutely love Help a Queen Out, and I thank you for that. I thank you for that because it was so necessary at the time. And the way the universe, like, I know the universe is something that is not tangible, but I would never stop believing in spirituality and the connections that we have, and that was created at the perfect time. It was created at the perfect time. It was necessary for me anyway. I'm here being selfish. I'm just like me, like, but yeah.
Exactly. You know what was working for you, and I'm here for it. And do you know what? A lot of the stuff that I've done over the years, I've done while in like the depths of depression, and I amaze myself actually, because when I think about it, when I look back, I'm like, you was not well, Annika. You were not okay. But actually, it was for me, it's all about building those connections and an online community, and it feels very important to me to connect with other women, and it feels very important to me that we have really honest conversations, and that if I can be a part of creating that space where we can have those honest conversations, because you know there are people that I've perhaps never met or have only met once who have told me something that they've not told people they've known for years, but that they felt they were safe. And the best thing that I can do is receive that with love. And I feel like that's a superpower. So if I can kind of cultivate that in a community online, you know, on the internet. Remember years ago they said don't talk to people on the internet. This is what we're doing. But it feels wonderful. And I just saw a comment from Mon who says, how about starting that back up? I have thought about it, but I don't think I'll do. I'm kind of not on Twitter at the minute, but what I really like the idea of is doing like a Help a Queen Out live, but like on a Zoom, and do a bit of like a Saturday night social and make everybody break up into rooms and stuff.
Yeah, that would be good. I love the idea of that.
A bit amazing. Yeah, and I feel like the added benefit of a Zoom is you can see people's faces if they're comfortable, and you can hear people's voices. So watch this space. But yeah, I think that was like 2016 or 2017, and then there came a point where I put Help a Queen Out. I brought it to a close because for me I was going through a lot and I just couldn't manage it anymore. And everybody was really upset towards the end, but I just had to be realistic as well. And there's a lot that I know now that I didn't know then in terms of coordinating projects and stuff. But what's been beautiful is that we stay connected, and now we are on Instagram community, and we all found it still. Which is what I love about the internet, and what I've loved seeing is the growth of everybody that was involved, but also like the change in your content and your demeanor and your confidence and stuff. And a question that I have for you, because I wrote notes, you know. The question that I have for you was, how has your content changed with you? Because you've been on a journey.
I have. My content has definitely changed. Cat number 2 is near me, so apologies if she jumps up. So when I first started this particular Instagram, because I had another Instagram before, and another page before, and it was quite big as well. It was like kind of I say quite big. It was a little bit more. Had more followers than I do now, and I think if I had kept that page, it probably would be in the tens of thousands. But it spiritually was just not like connecting with me anymore. Like So then I created this page, and I wanted to be like solely about, you know, empowerment, and I wanted it to be about women empowerment, and I wanted to show that anything is possible. And it's one of the things that I really wanted to counteract the whole motivational speaker thing. And I was just like, I really hated that that term. And I was just like, I really want to see I want to see someone's whole journey. I want to see them in the bad times. And like I was saying earlier on at the beginning, like authenticity, I want someone to be authentic. Like, so I want to see their journey, and I feel like I relate to that more. And I feel that also when you are kind of showed all these images, like, and we're seeing it now, when you see certain images of people looking a certain way in certain aesthetics, you think to yourself, oh, I want that. And you're not knowing what's happening behind the scenes. You don't know if there's abuse, you don't know if they're unhappy, you don't know if they're not even together and it's just literally for whatever, or even if it's a family or if it's a person. A lot of people kind of fake their online persona, and I guess I did to a certain extent. I did myself, but I wanted to showcase being happy, and I wanted to be positive, and I guess it was like toxic positivity. And I, as time went on, like you were saying, it became overwhelming, and I also wanted to do my own stuff, and I started to follow writers, and I didn't at this time, I didn't really feel that I didn't have that belief in myself that I could write. And I would get like, I would write on my stories, and I do my stories is the place that I feel most comfortable, because it's the place where people come to see you. If you don't want to see it, if like on your timeline, you can kind of scroll past, and my page is open, so anyone can kind of come to it. But stories is like that personal safe space, like um and people would say, you know, you write so well, and da 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 da, and I'm just like, me, I write hard, like I'm dyslexic, like I don't know how to write, and I had average, I got barely average grades, and I got, you know, for GCSEs, and my A levels were crap. Like I just felt like I'm not a writer. And then I continued, I still did my stories and stuff like that, and still continued to have to talk about things. And then I started to have that belief in myself that I can actually write. I can actually write. And I would read and read and think to myself, well, I can write this. Like, it's not that hard. Like, and I kind of just said to myself, you're right on. And I think I remember seeing it on, I think it was Twitter, and it said, if you can write, and if you can write, then you're a writer. You don't have to wait to be published. You don't have to wait to, you know, you've got this amount of followers or whatever, you are a writer. So once I kind of believed in that, my whole page changed. Like my content changed from, you know, sharing other people's work and then commenting about it, to me having my own work and me commenting on my own stuff. And I at the moment I choose to use Twitter and try to have like a fancy background, just to like just to make a little razzle dazzle, like, you know, little, you know, pretty up a little bit. And because I used to do the black, the white, and the picture, and the white and I can't remember what you call it, the grid, the checkered grid, and that was like keeping me bondage. Like I was held hostage to that, and I felt like I couldn't I felt like I couldn't be myself. So I was just like, fuck all this, like what am I even doing? Like I'm doing what I want to do, and fuck pretty aesthetics, good luck to them. Like it's great that they have, you know, 1 million followers, but it doesn't matter about the followers, it matters about the people who it's about the quality of people that are on your page. And like my page, you know, I have a lot of people that come to me and like, oh, your page should be bigger, and da 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 da, and this and another. I'm just like, I don't really care. Like it would be nice, don't get twisted, it'd be nice to have a bigger platform, but at the same time, it's also about what happens to me when I say what I say. Because like you said, I talk the truth. Like I don't bullshit. Like I speak, like I speak my mind, and people are not ready for that. Like people are not ready to hear or to be challenged. Like you said, people are not ready to be challenged. So why am I gonna subject myself to abuse? That's how I feel. I feel like that would be the bigger my platform, the more people that will, you know, come and antagonize me, because people do it already, and my platform isn't that big. But yeah, so my content has definitely changed, and I think the massive thing about it is that I I changed the way I believed in myself. It was self-belief. Like I still have posts. Sometimes people, I haven't cleared up the old stuff, but some of the words underneath those posts are really relevant, so that's why I've kept them there. But I will one day, I'm gonna take them off Instagram, put them on my blog, but at the moment they're there. But sometimes people will like those posts, and I think to myself, like I was like in such a different, like I see the journey, and I see like I was in such a, you know, a massive place. So yeah, that's the story behind my content.
It's just fascinating, and actually, you know, it's just a testament to the fact that the change begins when you accept your greatness.
Yes.
Even in a small way, when you give yourself permission to believe that you might actually be good at something. And it doesn't matter how many other people are telling you, oh, you could be this, you could be this. It wasn't until you decided and you accepted that you're a writer, that change
Yeah.
started to happen for you. And I feel like that's so powerful, because when it comes down to it, and this is my thing with social medias, the social media and the white and the image and the white and the image, you know, who's making the rules? You make your own rules on here.
Exactly.
You make the rules. So when it comes down to it, you ask yourself, am I a writer? Yeah, I'm a writer. I've been blogging for like 2 years. I've started writing a book. I write epic captions. Everybody loves them. I am writing, so by default, I'm a writer. You don't wait for anyone to tell you that, because it doesn't matter. Like 100 people could tell you, but until you know it,
Yeah.
it's not going to matter. And so I just love that, like you had a little voice that said, "No, you're a writer, obviously," and you're like, "Oh, true."
Yeah.
And it's that in the dialogue. It's that in the dialogue. Like, you accepted that you might actually be good at something, and then
Yeah.
you discovered, oh, I'm true. It's true, actually. It's actually
Yeah.
true. And what I love is that you've still got, you know, the stuff that you used to write, and people are still finding it, which I think is incredible. Do not delete your work, okay? Even if you copy and paste it to a Word document and don't open it for 5 minutes, don't care. Do not delete your work, okay? Don't ever. But even that, I suppose there's going to be some times when you go back and you have a read through, and at a point where perhaps you didn't know that you were a writer yet, and you didn't know that you were good at how you express yourself. Now you might read it and feel differently. You might read it and think, "Oh, I wrote that. Go on, Nicka, in 2017. You had bars. You had stuff to say still."
Honestly,
And
sorry, go on.
I was going to say that just shows that's about perspective as well, because sometimes in the moment when you are creating, or when you are expressing yourself, when you're showing up on social media in whatever way you're doing it, a lot of the times we're not going to feel good about it, because there's a little voice saying, but you didn't pose in this way, or didn't use this lighting, or you didn't use this, or you did. But when you go back, you'll see how epic it is. It's all about how you perceive yourself.
Absolutely. It's so true. Like, and I think like a couple of times I've been back into some old posts and I'm just like, I wrote that. Like, what? How did I ever think that I wasn't a writer? Because like I write some great stuff. Like, even to some of these posts, like even the recent posts, like if I look at this year, like in January or February, and I'm just like, I wrote that. Like, oh wow. Like I was on some serious shit. Like, I'm good at this shit. Like, I'm good. Like, I've got this. So yeah, it's definitely it's definitely that self-belief. It's that once somebody, and this is a post that I haven't actually put up, I was going to do it before the live, but I was like, no, let me just rest my brain. But once you believe in yourself, and once you, and the post is more about self-awareness and accountability, but once you know what you are, who you are, and what you do, like, and what you've done, like I've done fucked up things, like, and you know what, I've taken account for them. And it's the same with self-belief. Once you believe those things, nobody can tell you nothing. Nobody can tell you anything. Like, once you believe in yourself, and this is me preaching, like I'm just like, you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta believe it. Like, you gotta believe, but you have to believe it. You have to believe that, you know, you are good at what you do. If it means that you are a great mum, you're a great sister, you're an artist, you're a great nurse, you're a doctor, whatever it is, you believe that. And once you, like you said, once you believe that, everything aligns and everything attracts. Like, it's actually scary how it does that. Because, you know, a lot of people say this, and and that's another thing. I think because we are such an instant culture, like we have this instant, it's got to happen today. If it doesn't happen today, it's not going to happen. And if when we see people say this, and we see these motivational speakers say these sort of things, it's just like, well, for me, I'm just like, ugh, like, or whatever, because I don't see the results right now. But once you really, I know it's cliche, but you literally have to believe what's in here. Like, so yeah.
I love that. That was Nicka's TED talk pending. It's going to happen one day.
Yes.
But you know what? I feel like as well, it's just that thing of like, you don't even have to have like loads of faith in yourself. You don't even have to have the most or any confidence. It's just listen to that little voice that says, maybe I can do this. And you will be surprised at not how passionate, although passion's good, how powerful that little voice is. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like when you become your own cheerleader, it's beautiful. And you're exactly right. Once you've accepted who you are, once you've accepted that you are an absolute fucking legend, that you
Mm-hmm.
are powerful and phenomenal, and you've got stuff worth saying and stuff worth listening to and stuff worth reading, no one can take it away from you. And I think
Mm-hmm.
what you've said, just like being open and honest with yourself and just saying, I'm not a perfect person. I have
Yeah.
made mistakes. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's so key. And I feel like we can tie that in with the whole toxic positivity stuff and the spiritual bypassing and saying, you know, good vibes only, and, you know, don't think bad thoughts, just choose happiness today. And that's a pet hate of mine, actually, because I feel like when you've
Yeah.
got depression, you cannot choose happiness. You literally
Exactly.
cannot choose happiness. So I feel like it's really powerful to accept where you are,
Mm-hmm.
wherever that is, whatever that looks like today. And sometimes what that looks like is that actually you've just had an amazing idea and your little voice is like, let's have a go.
Yeah.
And you give yourself permission to do that, which it sounds like you did. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just been a continuous cycle of just creating epic shit now, Nicka. I'm so
Yeah.
proud. I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, I often, like, sometimes I think to myself, like, what am I even doing? Like, why am I doing this? Because I just, like, sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to myself, like I'm talking to, like I'm in a void. And I've also, at the same time, I've accepted that. And I think it's actually a good thing, because it's something, they say ignorance is bliss, and obviously in certain times it is not bliss, it is not ignorance, we don't need ignorance, but there's certain times when it can really work in your favor. So one of the things that I do is that my stories, I don't ever see, I don't know who watches my stories. I see the three, like, you know, you get to see the three people that, you know, they will come up, they'll change. I'll see those, but I don't ever look at my list. And it's kind of the same when I'll have notifications for when my for obviously, you know, when somebody likes your post, but I don't sit there and look through them. I just kind of I click the button to clear it, and then I come out, and that kind of helps me to, I guess, produce more work. And I think if I fixated on who was watching or who was seeing my work, I wouldn't post. I would just, like, I would be so scared that yeah, I would just keep quiet and I wouldn't post. So I've also had to accept the fact that I'm not, even though I'm not talking to a void, treat it like that, and keep producing that work, because you just don't know when it's going to pay off. And also because for me, posting what I post is also healing for myself. When I post, you know, I'm not talking at people. I try not to talk at people. Sometimes I do because people annoy me. But like, for the most part, I'm talking from experience. I'm saying this because I don't want you to have to go through what I went through. If you have a rough idea, if if you have a rough idea, or if you see, okay, well, Nicka said da 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 da, it might not fit me, but maybe I can take some bits from what she said and kind of apply it to my own situation. And that's what I want. Like, you don't have to do things exactly how I do them, because our lives are different. Like, so, you know, I'm trying to show people that I fucked up. Like, I fucked up, and I did these things that I'm talking about. I'm saying them because I've done them and I've been there, and I don't want, you know, people to, you know, I don't want us as a society or as a community even to keep making those mistakes. So yeah.
It's so powerful because it's almost, I feel like there's so much power in accepting, but even just owning up, owning your truth, and just even just saying like, oh, I fucked up, I am not perfect, is so powerful, because it's that authenticity. For me, it's the case that you'll get so many other people that will, you know, they've never done anything wrong, they've always made the right choices, and so life has rewarded them with the right outcomes, because that's all it takes. And, you know, they've never suffered at all, and all this stuff. And for me, that doesn't feel real to me. I don't resonate
Yeah.
with that. But for someone to stand there and say, actually, this is my stuff, but I'm showing up, is so powerful. Because even the fact that you don't scroll down to see who's watched your story, or the fact that you don't click to see all who liked your posts, I feel like that's so powerful. And the reason why I feel you do it, because you've already perhaps subconsciously or subconsciously, you've detected that the weight of everybody else's opinions will weigh you down and you won't create. So it's almost like you've decided not to take that on. You just create.
Yeah.
And that is beautiful.
Yeah. Right. It's a way of, it's also a boundary as well. It's a social media boundary. And this is why I ask people to be respectful of my space. My page is open, you know, you can DM me, you can, you know, comment on my posts. And there's been times I thought about closing my captions, like I posted about my childhood sweetheart a couple of days ago, and I was thinking to myself, should I close the caption? Because I didn't want people to, I don't even know what I did, to be fair. I don't even know what it was, but I always have this, I'm ready, I'm always on the defense. Not on the defense, I'm not on the defense. I'm hyper vigilant, and that creates that creates this whole thing where, like I said, I won't post if I know that if I think that somebody is watching my stories, or somebody I don't really like, or somebody who has had an opinion on what I said, and especially the fact, like, going, and I think it's a really good actually example of that post, because my childhood sweetheart was a man, and you know, being part of the LGBT community, it's like that sort of thing gets used against you, and it's sometimes I have to think to myself, am I gonna, like, as I said, I thought to myself, am I gonna have that my comment section open? Are people gonna you know, comment about the fact, like, do you really like women, or do you why would you post this, or why didn't you put a trigger warning, or why didn't you do this? And there's always all these things that I have to think about when I didn't mention anything, you know, sad. I just want to be able to spill my soul. And I'm very, very wary of what I post. Like, if I was posting something serious, I would put a warning. I would say I'm talking about X, Y, Z. I'm very, like, I'm not a monster. But sometimes I just feel like I don't want to put a warning, but that's going to kind of mar my words. So I do think those, and what I choose to see, and yeah, I have to, it's a lot. There's a lot that goes on that, and it's another post I haven't spoken about. Something I do want to speak about is that people don't understand the amount of work and the amount of stuff that goes into my actual post. I spoke about it briefly the other day when I said it's really tiring, and I didn't really go into depth as to why it's tiring, because yeah, I'm passionate about it, but I forget to mention the fact that I have to think about what I've just explained. Like, I have to think about that. Then I have to think about who's it going to reach, because Instagram are on nonsense with their algorithms. Then I'm thinking about, is it going to pop off, or who's going to see it, or like, it's just, there's so many things that go on, and it's, you know, I didn't go into depth about that. So yeah, but yeah, it's a boundary. Like, for me, it's a boundary, like, to the way I run my social media. Like, sometimes I can't even reply to comments sometimes, because I have to process them, and I have to process what these people are saying, even the positive things. And I've mentioned that, I've definitely mentioned that on my page, that sometimes the positive things can be very overwhelming for me, and it's like, oh my god, these people think I'm nice. Like, even the other day when I posted about a scenario in the bookshop, and people were like, I'm so sorry, and I wasn't expecting people to say I'm sorry, because it wasn't about getting pity. It was about, this is an example I'm giving, do better. Like, this is why I'm telling you to do better. It wasn't that. So sometimes I've got to process that. Like, people are compassionate, people are empathetic, you know. So yeah, sorry, I've just gone on and on. I feel like I'm just taking over.
It's really, no, not at all. It's really interesting, actually, because what it sounds like to me is that you've got your own sort of risk assessment, because you're not just sharing what you had for breakfast, are you? You're sharing real life experiences. And I feel like social media is such a wonderful space where we can share our personal experiences, because for people out there that aren't doing that, who feel very alone, they can connect with that and feel less alone. But I feel like we must always take responsibility for ourselves, and not feel like we have to share everything just to get people to like it or connect, or because we feel driven to share a story. Also, just check in with you and see, actually, how are you feeling today? How can you manage stuff? And it sounds like you're doing that in different ways. And it
Yeah.
really sounds like you're in tune with your process as well. Like, you know that you're going to feel overwhelmed. And what I love and feel like is so sweet is that, and this is actually testament to what you said about you feel like you're just writing you're just writing it and you're posting it, and that's it, you know, you're getting it off your chest. And then when people respond with kindness, you're like, was not expecting that. But also you deserve kindness, you know, and it's okay to accept that. And even if you were posting for kindness, that would be okay as well. But I love that it's always like a bit of a surprise. Like, someone said, I'm so sorry that happened, and you're shook, like, why are you being nice? But you deserve the niceness. You deserve the niceness, and you're getting it because somebody really connected with what you said, and you was honest, and so they felt like they could approach you and just say, just give you some love, just for you being you. And that is what it's about. You deserve love just for you being you. Okay.
Honestly. Thank you so much. Thank you. And it's
So
so
I'm going to
true.
catch up with some of the comments, because we've had quite a lot here. People are saying they really needed it. Tina says the right people will find you. They absolutely will. You haven't missed too much, Nadine. Engagement matters, not numbers. Yeah. So nice to see dyslexia being talked about in a good light. Incredible, absolutely incredible. So I'm really pleased to see that so many of you are connecting with what Nicka's sharing here, because it's just real honest, real life stuff.
Yeah.
But perhaps stuff that is not spoken about so widely and so openly and without fear of judgment. And this is a judge-free zone. So I love the block button. So if I encounter judgment anyway, we don't see it for long. We don't see it for long.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am the same. Block button is my friend.
Yeah, block or mute, sometimes restrict. And then when you see like some random numbers and letters following you, block. I don't know whose friend that is, but block, 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 block. That's it. So with that being said, actually, if you can see my stuff, it's because I want you to see the stuff, because actually some people don't deserve to have that access, and I love that. I feel like that's powerful. Like, some people don't deserve to see your content, that actually don't. Open page or not, block them. Beautiful. Another question I've got for you is, I'm not sure actually what time we're on. Oh my gosh, we're nearly 45 minutes in.
Oh wow.
There might be a multiple series with this one.
Yeah, we did. I think I was thinking that we can do it. We can come back again and do it. So yeah.
We can talk about all the things. We can just break down all the topics even, and we can do. We've got content for you. But another question I had for you is, if you feel comfortable with this, just talking us through what your biggest challenge has been in terms of showing up for yourself, online and offline.
My biggest challenge, I think admitting that I need help, and admitting that I need a lot more support than I say I do. Going back to, even though as simple as, you know, me posting about that experience in the bookshop, and, you know, people like me being surprised, like you said, exactly what you said. I deserve kindness and I deserve, you know, compassion, and I forget that. I forget that. I forget that I do need to, not even just rest, but I do need to emotionally rest, and I do need to be vulnerable. I think that's probably a better word. I need to be vulnerable, and I think the hardest challenge is me, like, not admitting these things to myself, or slowing down enough to even think to myself, okay, well, you not only need to rest, because I'm becoming very good at resting at the moment, which is good, because for years, for years, I would I'll be so against resting, but now I'm very much like, I'm a parishioner. I feel like I'm a parishioner of the Nat ministry. So everything the bishop talks about, I am there. Like, I'm just here with my prayer hands, and I'm just like, yes, exactly. So yeah, I'm good at resting, but I forget to I forget that I'm a human, and I forget that I can be not necessarily wrong, because I think I'm ready to admit that I'm wrong, but I'm ready, and I forget that I can't do everything, and I struggle with things, and I forget also that you guys cannot see what is actually happening behind the scenes. Sometimes I feel like because I do share a lot, I feel like you guys know exactly what's happening in my life, and that becomes, yeah, that is challenging, because I get, not that I feel that I get scared. Like, I'm thinking, do I overshare? That is one of the challenges as well. Um, and I think another challenge is just being able to tune out people's nonsense and tune out the crap online, because yeah, that affects my, when I have my focus, it affects what I'm gonna do, it affects like what I'm gonna post, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's probably one of my biggest challenges. So yeah.
Ooh, I quite love that actually, because that just makes everything that you are doing. I don't love that you're having these challenges, but I love that all the challenges are actually in direct opposition to what you're actually doing. So even though you feel all this stuff, you're still going to create posts that are about you highlighting an issue that means so much, and you looked at this perspective. I feel like, so every time you're doing that, you're actually facing that feeling that tells you not to, because of all these things, but you're still doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And
I,
that's so fucking inspirational, because some people just feel the feeling, don't they? And we've done it for years. You feel the feeling, and so you don't post, or you don't send the email, or you don't go to the event, or you don't apply for the job, or whatever it is, because the feeling's so strong. But it sounds like you've got a balance in a way. Like, you feel
yeah.
it, but you still go on to do the thing that you know that you want to do.
hmm Definitely. I think it's so important to, I think it's one of the things I've always been like, from a child, I've always been that person that, okay, I'm scared of this. Like, I have a massive fear of the sea, like, but and to the point that I've been snorkeling, and I've gone into the water, and I'm having a panic attack in the water. Like, I literally cannot breathe. I'm just like,
Oh
I'm so
wow.
scared. Yeah, but I refuse to not have that experience. Like, the stubbornness in me, I refuse to not have that experience. So I'm going snorkeling. So, and then eventually, once I get used to the water, and once I get used to, because I'm like, that feeling of not being able to touch the floor is overwhelming, and the fact that I think that sharks are gonna come out and eat me all the time. So it's just like, once I get comfortable in the water, I tend to be okay. But um yeah, even from a child, I was just like, I'm scared of whatever it was, and I'm gonna face it. Like, I've always been like that. I'm not gonna allow things to hold me back. Like, um, yeah, because I think to myself, what do I, what do I want more? The comfortability of not doing it, or do I want the experience? So yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that you are scared of the sea, but you still get in that water. That is bars. Let me write that down, because I'm going to put that into a quote. I'm going to send it to her and say, this is you. You're scared of the sea, but you still get in the water. You still went snorkeling. That is phenomenal. I'm literally writing this down now.
Yeah, you got me thinking. I should do a post. I gotta find the pictures of
Yeah.
me. I gotta find the pictures. When I find the pictures, I will I will post it. But I love that. Please do create it, please. I love
Yeah.
it. And it
And you know what?
absolutely, yeah,
I'm just saying that's the definition of feeling the fear, but
yeah,
going for it anyway.
exactly. Like I said, it's like, do I want the feeling of comfortability, or do I want to have that experience? So, and that's bars right there. I think I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna create that. But um, yeah, absolutely. You know, I refuse to be limited by my fears, especially having gone through so much in my life. I am not going to miss out on great things or fun or happiness because I'm afraid. Like, and I'm afraid. I have fears, you know, I'm a normal person, but I'm not going to let them take over, you know. I also have these conversations in my head. Like I literally have to talk to myself. But like I had talked to myself. Well, is it really or da 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 da? And yeah. So
I love that. You give yourself. It's actually give yourself a pep talk. I do that. I say, "Are you going to die because you've sent an email?" I'm like, "No." We'll probably do another video on, because there are so many stupid things that women will die for, by going, you know. But that is definitely a chat we can have another time.
yes.
About that. But actually, some of the things that you want to do, you know, whatever you're pushing yourself to do, even if it is getting in the water and snorkeling, you know, it is jumping on a live like this, or it is creating your first blog post, or saying to yourself, I'm going to set up a Twitter networking hour and just hope that people want that, whatever it is, and just not talking yourself out of it, really, like just challenging the thoughts that you're having. But yeah, I was reading the comments. So I think Rebecca has said, definitely takes a strong woman to do something she's in two minds to do, but still does. Nicka is a strong woman, even when she doesn't feel strong. And I feel like this is the thing with being a strong woman. Sometimes when we're strong, we're strong in ways that we don't realise, just getting through the day, even being strong enough to express how you're feeling, being strong enough to ask for help. And in these instances, you're probably feeling very weak, very low, can't do anything. But it's actually strength to still keep moving through those times. You know, to survive is strength. Strength, surviving anything is strength in its purest form.
Exactly.
Definitely going to put notifications on you. Honestly, Tina, you will love Nicka's content. You will. And Nicka, you will love Tina, my Tina, who I've known for a few years now. And she's the most beautiful soul. But yeah. So we have got 8 minutes left, and I can't believe this. How very rude of
Exactly.
2020. But one question that I do have for you, actually, which I thought would be a nice way to wrap this up a little bit, is if there is a song on Spotify or YouTube that no matter what lifts you up, right, and that we should all go and listen to now, what's that song for you and why?
God. Songs, Annika, of all things, songs are the worst thing. I'm trying to think. So there's it depends. I would say there's 3 different songs.
No,
different,
you know Libras are extra, don't you? So you just proving the thing.
We gotta be so extra. We can't just do one thing. We just gotta be so extra. So I would say Coffee. What's that? I can't remember the song name. You know what I'm talking about. Coffee.
What's it called now? Oh, it's so popular as well.
Why have I forgotten it? Well, you guys know what I'm talking. You know the song.
Yeah. Oh, I know it. Hold on.
I can hear it, but
I can see the music video. Oh, so yeah, that one. I'm gonna get it because it's gonna bug me. It's gonna be so obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
Toast.
See,
Yeah.
thank you,
Everybody
Karen.
had it in the
Exactly. It was so simple. We both forgot. So Toast is the reason why I like Toast as well. Obviously, from the obvious reasons. But last year I went to a women's empowerment conference, and that was playing, and it literally was. It felt like my breakthrough. I had been depressed for about 6 months, and I was in a really bad place, and this conference was just after my birthday as well, and I was ill for my birthday last year as well, so it was so I wasn't that great. But then I remember hearing that song at this conference, and it was just like, it was that breakthrough. Yes, that's where this is where I got my empowerment from. This is where I got my not my wisdom, but that self-belief, that everything was solidified. Everything was just like, this is your start, this is your new beginning, this is the way you're gonna strive, you're gonna move forward. So it's been a really good cornerstone in my pillar, whatever you want to call it, in my life. The other one was Jasmine Sullivan. Dream Big. I love the words. Yes.
I love that song.
I love it.
Okay, anyway, yeah, it's powerful. Because I imagine myself marching to it and having
That's
like
how
an
I felt.
army of people behind me.
Exactly. Like I'm just like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm gonna do it. I am gonna dream big. I am gonna like everything. It just reminds me like I can achieve everything. I can. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. Doesn't matter. Like people are like, oh well, it's not. It's not. You might not do it. You might not get there. I'm gonna do it. Like you might not be able to do it, but I'm gonna do it. If I'm gonna go to Hollywood, I'm gonna go to Hollywood. If I'm gonna go to New York, if I'm going to Canada, if I'm gonna go to Egypt, wherever I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna fuck shit up like, and it's gonna be amazing. So I love Dream Big. It's one of my favorite songs. I think those two is probably the those two are my positive songs. And then I listen to an artist called Abra, and she her songs get me through working out. So those push me through. But yeah, I should have said Abra first because it was she's got quite a few. She's quite dark, and
No, one of the
what
songs.
happened? So there again.
Ooh, there's a story. Go on.
she's quite dark. She's quite her music is not dark, but it's just like it's. I think it's R&B electronica. I think she's kind of her music is. And when I am, so I'm really weird. When I'm in an angry mood, listening to angry music helps. So it drives, and I think it helps me to process my anger. So I listen to her, and she's got quite a few songs like Roses, and I can't remember the names of them. There's quite a few, and I'll do like I might do a post in my stories about it, her different songs, and I listen to the words, and it's a way of like, instead of breaking dishes, instead of smashing dishes, it's a way of me verbally smashing dishes. So yeah, that's what gets me through actually. And I've one more. I know that's a 3, now it's a 4. So
Make it equal.
the last one, I promise. Alina Barez. So she has an album, Urban Flora. That whole entire album it's just affirmational. It is just if you listen to the words and everything she says, she speaks about, like, obviously it's romantic, but she also speaks. I mean, all her music is like that. It's just very affirmational. But that album, like, I will listen to it on repeat, like, and I will sing out the top of my lungs, and that will just make me feel so much better. And I just remember who I am, who the hell I am, because I am the shit. Like, I am greatness. And yeah, and so those are my top 4. Like, I know you said 1, but obviously Libra Queen Nita had to come out with 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those are my great songs. Like,
So I'm just going to read the comments. Loads of support for all the songs. Hi, Shamian. So yeah, people are asking for this live every week. We will go live as often as we need to, because me and Nicka have plenty to talk about. So, and we're just about to enter the greatest season of every year, which is Libra season.
Yes. Woo woo.
So, we are going to be on fire.
Say hello. Say hi.
Charmin. Oh, hello, Kitty.
She's so annoying.
With a star feature. Charmian said, we ain't letting the limiting beliefs of others change our goals, passion and purpose. I feel that. And Tina said, yes, release that energy through music. And you know what, it's so powerful, because actually I find there's some songs that you might not have listened to for a long time, but when you listen to it, it takes you back to where you were. And I feel like there's so much healing that can be done just by tuning in. Not even tuning, just by listening to music, and even going back to listening to music when you were a teenager, which is what I do sometimes, and it just makes me really happy. So we've got everybody. We've got Toast by Coffee. We've got Dream Big by Jasmine Sullivan. She's just amazing. We've got Everything by Abra, if you're feeling cross, angry, you just want to get stuff off your chest. And Alina Baraz is the Urban Flora, her album.
That album.
Yeah. So yeah, some great recommendations there. I don't want the Instagram to cut us off.
Yes.
Charmian, are you a Libra as well? I feel like we should start a club. Like,
I think so as well.
It's now season. That's why I've got this extra glow, because it's actually nearly October. So
Yeah.
obvious.
I'm excited.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on the live. I know that we were both tired today, because I voice noted Nicka earlier and said I'm tired. She said she's tired, but I knew that we would show up for this. And I'm getting a reminder that we've got 23 seconds remaining. But thank you so much for coming. And
Thank you for
yeah, I'm going to link to Nicka when I post this on the grid. I want everybody to follow her and show her support, get involved with her posts. She has amazing conversations over there, and yeah, honesty as well.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.